So today the topic, desire and happiness. So this is another very important topic in yoga. Actually, is a central topic in yoga. Okay, the central topic in yoga is to help you to understand correctly what is happiness and how our mind works that prevent us to have happiness. So that's a central concern of yoga, is how to help people to attain to the peace and the happiness that they are looking for. By understand our illusions, wake up to our illusions, and change our attitude, and have a proper understanding. Yeah? So, in the topic of happiness, we have our habitual way how to find happiness. And our habitual way, very often time, is a sensual way to find happiness. That means we all the time looking in the senses outside. So we the world that is outside is the world of the senses. And what we're looking for, and we mistake between happiness, true happiness that comes from the soul, because your true nature is to be happy, Ananda, that's your true nature. The true nature is Satchidananda, not just only happy, but blissful, and also knowledgeable, conscious, aware, and completely secure and safe within yourself. Even this body, it comes, it goes, but it doesn't change. Yeah, so you are still very secure and feel safe and feel very happy. So that's our true nature. But we're always looking for the happiness outside. So we said that it's like the story of the lady looking for the happiness, the story of the lady looking for her needle that she dropped in the house. And she go outside and look for it. And then people say, why you look for it outside? And she say, because inside the house is too dark. Outside is lighter. So we look for happiness outside in the sensual world, because inside, which is our true nature, we call it inside, is too dark. We don't know. Yeah. So we are confused in our mind. So we always go outward. And we say that when we go outward and we go the same, we retrace the same groove, the same habits, or the same path that we have done before, and which is the path of satisfying the senses, the sensual pleasure. So we are not really knowing the nature of the path to happiness, which is the path going within. So that is called, according to yoga, it's called avidya. Avidya means due to our original ignorance, not knowing that we are already the happiness that we are looking for, So we are looking outside and we mistake our ego or our idea of what we like and what we don't like to find the happiness. If we like something, we keep repeating the same thing. If we dislike something, we keep running from that same thing. So it is said that we can never really find the happiness that way, because our mind will be more restless. Because if you follow your mind, and your mind will be more restless. You understand this point? It's very simple. Yeah. If we say yes to our mind, then our mind will say, okay, yes, yes, yes. So keep doing the same thing. And then it doesn't find it, it finds something else. So the happiness cannot be found in the mind. So the mind is changing by nature. The mind is illusory. It's always projecting, proposing to you some new idea, and then you follow it. So then that's how you cannot find the happiness that we feel strongly that is within. So that's why it is said that we need to stop a moment, take a deep breath, and try to find the happiness by calming the mind. Okay? By calming the mind, that means by not falling prey to the different temptations that the mind would show us. So there is another story, a story of this monkey that put his hand into a cookie jar to grasp the cookies. And then he has a hand full of cookies, and he tried to pull his hand out from the cookie jar, but the neck of the cookie jar hold his hand. So he cannot take it out. So he's very upset because he's already touching the cookie, feeling that he's eating the cookie, and he cannot get his hand out. So he jumped around with the cookie jar in his hand, jumping around, desperately. So what is this story meaning? The story shows that we are having our habits of finding happiness, and we are stuck in this habit. We always go to the same habit, and it's again it gets us disappointed, but we are stuck. We just keep going back there, going back there, going back there. So sometimes people have a problem of addiction. That means what they do will destroy them, but they cannot get out of it, and they still get back to the same habit. So that's a problem. And the problem of illusion, there's another story, is that the story of this person walking in the desert when there is no water, very thirsty, and tried to find water. And then he found a shade under a tree. Wow. He stand under the shade, feel very happy. At least the shade is there. And but he saw the water 15 minutes away. And he was thinking, doubting a little bit, because in the desert there is no water. But his senses saw the water, and his reasoning fell. So he said, okay. So then he reasoned, if I go toward the water, and if I don't find it in 15 minutes, I will walk back, and I'll find the shade. Very difficult to find the shade. And then, so he does it. He walk 15 minutes. And then the water is still 15 minutes away. So he said, what to do now? Water 15 minutes, shade 15 minutes. He stand in the middle. So then he say, okay, try it again. One more try. How we do. We all the time say, one more try. Yeah? And then he walked 15 minutes, shade is 30 minutes back. And then he thought, one more try, last try. Yeah? Shade is still 15 minutes away. Water is 15 minutes away, and shade is 45 minutes back. It's kind of far and far. So then he kind of panicked, how it is when we do something so many times and we feel that we should have it and we don't have it and we panic. There's no capacity of thinking. At the time he's run crazy toward the water, and you imagine if you run crazy in the desert, what happened to you? You're completely thirsty, exhausted. So the ending of the story is not very nice. So what I'm saying here is the illusory nature of the mind. It's always will say something, this will make me happy. If I can have this promotion, I'll be happy. If I can go to this country, I'll be happy. If I can buy this item, I'll be happy. If I change my furniture or my house, I'll be happy. Like that. So then the mind will keep showing to you the different things, and if you attain these objects, you'll be happy. But the problem is, these are objects. These are external to you. So you get these objects, your mind ceases for a moment to be restless. So you find the peace within and you are happy, you see, but for a moment. But because you think that the happiness depends on the object, so then you would you don't feel happy after that, and you say something like, oh, the object is wrong. Something is wrong with this object. So then you chase after another object, and when you get the object of desire, then you stop for a moment. Then you feel happy. And then again, the mind is not happy anymore. Then again, you find fault with the object. Yeah, so maybe it's wrong. Yeah, because it gave me some happiness, but then it doesn't. So something is wrong with this object. And then you come up with a new idea of new object that will make you happy. And that's why the mind just keep going, and being restless. And never find really peace or happiness. So that's called the illusion of the mind. Yeah. But you do not understand that when you get to the object of desire, then you are happy, but not because of the object, just because your mind stopped for a moment. And when your mind stopped, then you found the happiness that is already there. All the time have been there. Yeah. But the mind restlessness, the mind desires, always project this idea of happiness somewhere else. And when you get to the object of desire, your mind stops for a moment. When your mind stops, you feel happy because the happiness is within. Happiness is your true nature. Happiness is not outside. So that's a very key important lesson that talk about the illusions of the mind. Always projecting. The mind is wavy, as you know. Wavy means it's all the time have different thoughts. The mind is very emotional. It likes different objects. It loves and loves and loves different objects. But objects is not the subject. Yeah? So you lost yourself in the object. Yeah? And you think if you lose yourself enough in the object, you'll be happy. Yeah? That your mind will disappear and you'll be happy. Yeah? So that's the thing. That's the trick. That's a trap. Yeah? It's the cause of addiction. Yeah? If I lost myself in what I desire, yeah, then I'll be happy. No. Happiness does not come from losing yourself. Happiness comes from being conscious of yourself, finding yourself. So one need to calm the mind down. Mind is wavy. So the way to happiness is calm the mind down. Make the mind not having too big wave. Make the mind not becoming too dependent from something external. Make the mind stable. So if you're dependent on something external, then you're dependent on the object to be happy. Object come there, you are happy. Object goes away, you're unhappy. So you become dependent. But when you are dependent from objects, you cannot find true happiness because your true nature is happy. Your true nature is freedom. Your true nature is you are the master, you are the boss. Yeah? Your true nature is that supremacy, finding that self that is all pervading, that is very everywhere, that is the source of all things. Yeah, that is the source of consciousness, the source of bliss, the source of life. So that is what you need to go deeper to find, and not settle down with the happiness that comes from external. So this is it. That's the main thing you need to ponder about. Yeah, is the nature of desire. The nature of desire in the mind. So the mind is desirous. That means it's all the time come up with different idea for it to be happy. Yeah. So there is our life is nothing else but a life of desire. Because of desire, we are born to satisfy desire. Yeah. So we are born to satisfy desire, but we also are born in order to wake up that the desire cannot make us happy. You see the contradiction? We are born to satisfy desire, but we are born also to learn that this desire is not going to make us happy. So then we have to learn the lesson of desire and satisfaction of desire, so that we can go to the true source of contentment, the true source of peace and of happiness, which is our true nature. Okay? So that's why it's a good topic to contemplate upon, the nature of desire. That is the root cause of our karma. This is a big concept. A root cause of our karma. What that means? That means the root cause of all our wrongdoing. Desire is a root cause of our wrongdoing, and the root cause why we keep suffering. Okay? We keep suffering because we run after the satisfaction of desire. We are born in this life in order to experience what we desire, Yeah. And then when we experience what we desire, we have new desire. So that's a vicious circle. We have new desire. And then we have to be born again to satisfy our desire. And then we satisfy some, and then we create new. We satisfy some, we create new. That's why we are trapped all the time in that circle of running after object of desire and never really content. We are never really content. We are never really happy, and it's very far from us, this fulfillment of a state of mind that is desireless, that don't need anything to be happy. So we are quite needy. Yeah? We are restless, we are needy. And yogic philosophy say, try to attain to the state of mind that is desireless. That means full contentment. How you become contented? When you are free from craving, free from need, yeah? Free from past habitual impression of happiness that makes us restless. So when we are feeling contented, so that's why yoga practices help you to experience these moments of contentment. Asanas help you to calm the restlessness of the body and help the prana to move, the energy to move. And the pranayama help to also energy to move and to balance the mind and calm the mind down. The techniques of withdrawing of the senses of yoga in order for you to get closer in touch with yourself. The technique of concentration to keep the mind focused on something worthwhile and not so focused on objects that make you restless. And technique of meditation that make you keep saturating your mind with the same positive, sacred thought. So when the mind is saturated with this thought, then no other negative thoughts can come in. No other desirous thought can come in. So that's the technique of concentration and meditation, merging your mind completely with this pure vibration, with that symbol of perfection, this ideal of perfection, your Ishta Devata, your chosen form of God. Keep again thinking about it. Merge your mind with it. Become it. So not you are looking for the happiness outside somewhere, but you are the happiness. Yeah, so meditation leads you to that merging state. You are the happiness. Your mind disappear, the illusion disappear. I am. That's the experience of meditation. The mind is calm, and you have the experience of I amness. I am bliss absolute. So then that time you come out of meditation completely fulfilled, yeah, and your mind will be less crazy running around. So people that meditate, they have a calmer mind. The mind becomes stronger, and they are able to resist temptations and to remain calm. So that's the idea. the idea of inquiring about the nature of our desire that create a lot of problems. So it is the desire that makes us angry. Yeah, people are very angry. Yeah. Why? Because the desire unfulfilled. Yeah. Desire unfulfilled make them angry. Sometimes we say expectation unfulfilled, but it's the same. You expect something to happen in order for you to be happy. So if it doesn't happen, you get angry. So anger, fear comes from attachment. You are attached to something and you are afraid that you lose it. You are afraid that you would not be able to retain it, that it would change. So then fear also makes your mind restless and take wrong action. So the attachment, the expectation of happiness that comes from the object of attachment make us fearful and worried and anxious. That is not happiness. Okay? So anger, fear, greed. Yeah. So we satisfy externally ourselves, yeah, with the acquisition of material objects. And when we get the material objects, then we feel satisfied for a moment, and then we keep accumulating in order for us to feel happy or secure. Because we feel that if we fulfill the sense of lack, yeah, then we are strong. But we are all the time lacking. Because the more that we fulfill the sense of lack, the more we feel lacking. So it's a trap. So that is the explanation of the defect or the weakness of people that becomes greedy. Never enough. Yeah, it's kind of disease. It's never enough. Never enough. You have people that have 10 houses, it's not enough. They have 2,000, 3,000 pair of shoes, and it's not enough. Yeah. So all the time, more. Yeah. So it comes from the desire, seeking in the wrong place. And the desire also manifests as the lustful tendency, passionate tendency, and all the problems that come with that. With the satisfaction of lust, and difficulty in relationship because it's not freedom. So you become very desirous and passionate, and with it the jealousy, and with it the sense of possession of somebody that is completely wrong, because you have relationship, you learn from each other, but you are not possessing each other. So the passionate tendency that is at the root, of our desire. So we call rajas. Rajas is always projecting. And we have that instinct animal instinct, sexual urge. So it's always projecting it out, and then you run after. Okay? Looking for that happiness in relationship through the satisfaction of desire. Yeah. So you can see it can create a lot of problem. Not necessary that you have peace. Okay? Love will bring you peace, but desire is not bringing you peace. And love needs to be pure love, not just attachment love. Again, because attachment love has fear in there involved, have ego involved. When pure love is free, yeah, pure love is your true nature. So there is a rajasic desire, the rajas that is constantly projecting, that bring us to pain and suffering. And there is the tamas that come with the rajas. As you know this technical term, tamas means darkness, ignorance. Because of darkness, because of ignorance, then we keep projecting, looking for things externally, yeah, and desperately looking for emotional satisfaction, material satisfaction. So the tamas and the rajas lead us to happiness, unhappiness. Yeah. So it's the tamasic desire and the rajasic desire that create the suffering. The sattvic desire is a little bit better. Sattvic desire is higher. That means that you have the desire for knowledge. You have the desire for doing good. You have the desire to serve other people. You have the desire to bring more peace in this world. You have the desire for liberation. That means the desire for knowledge of the root cause of our suffering. You have the desire to renounce attachment. You have the desire to renounce material possessions and to give in charity. So these are more sattvic. So it go, it calm down the rajas mind. The rajas mind that creates this illusion that makes you restless and crazy. So the sattvic desire, the sattvic mind would slowly bringing you to something more healthy, wiser, more lasting, more soulful, more according to your true nature, and give you more lasting satisfaction. So these are called sattvic desire. Okay? That leads you to some level of peace. And if you keep practicing, then the peace will turn to happiness. When your mind thin out, when you become more established in the sattva, when you become more established in the desirelessness, in the contentment, in the purity, and when you are able to be established within the self, that means not the Zoom disappear. It's working. Here the Zoom disappeared. Something wrong here. Okay. So the road to control desire is called the sattva, the sattvic style of life. The calm, the harmony, the contentment. So in yoga, we have these rules, these guidelines, very simple, called the yamas and niyamas. Yeah? The yamas is the restriction, not being violent, not being angry, yeah, not being attached, not being fearful, not telling lies, not being envious, not covet things, not stealing, not being indulgent in sensual, sexual activities, be more continent, be more moderate, and not being greedy. Yeah. So this is the guidance, the not to do in yoga. But the to do in yoga, to help you to reinforce that right sattvic path, you need to constantly purifying, we call saucha, purify the external environment, purify the internal environment, let go of the impure thoughts, is called saucha. Cleaning, how do you clean the mind? It's easier to clean outside the house and the body, but cleaning the mind, how do you clean the mind? You clean the mind with mantra. Okay? So focusing on mantra, pure thoughts, will clean the mind. So saucha, santosha, means the active practice of contentment. That means every day, wake up and count your blessing. Yeah? I'm so grateful to have this beautiful sunshine. I'm so grateful to have food on my table. I'm so grateful that I have this healthy, body that serves me. I'm so grateful to have these companies, relationships in my life. See, like this. So you do an active practice of contentment. Okay? Not just passive. Because the mind is very active creating desire, so you need to be very active cultivating contentment. Okay? And you need to do a little tapas. Tapas means austerity. Not just only contentment, but a little bit more, a little bit restriction. Yeah. So, because the mind is always go in the opposite direction, of seeking pleasure, seeking comfort, seeking external thing. So you restrain the central mind a little fasting here and there, a little asanas, which is also some level of austerity. Yeah, when you do asanas. Yeah. when you have to lie down on a hard floor, it's austerity. Okay, and when you refrain from moving, you refrain thoughts from moving, it's called meditation. So all these are austerity, tapas practice. When you bear heat and cold, insult and injury, and keep your mind calm, these are called tapas, or austerity. So these are helpful to control this mind. And then you constantly you study, and you are in satsanga, like what you are doing now, hearing helpful teaching, reading scriptures that tell you about the truth, so your mind don't go into that illusion. Having each other company, so you feel stronger in your yoga practice. And the last is Ishvara Pranidhana, means to completely self-surrender. Okay, self-surrender means you know that everything is good, that you are in good hands, and you are not looking externally, and you are not relying on your ego to be happy, to be fulfilled. So you accept. You are in a condition of acceptance of what God gives you, acceptance of life. So then you can be peaceful, and your mind is not too active. Your mind is not too rajasic, seeking and projecting externally. So then at that time you become yourself. You sink deep into the peace within, who is yourself. So all these are already laid out by the ancient yogis. To do what? To help you to control the mind, control the desire mind, and find the happiness within you. Okay? So that's a little satsang. Any question? So thank you for being here. I recognize many TTC graduates. Continue with satsang. Very good. Thank you. And so now we do the arati, okay, the prayer for protection. This prayer also means, at due time, it's like a fruit that is ripened from the tree. It will be detached from the tree. I mean, if you keep doing this, keep doing your practice, keep doing your satsang, keep everything, then your mind is like this fruit that become ripe slowly, and then it will detach. That means the vibration will come very naturally when you become completely so peaceful within yourself and so contented, then you realize the self. Okay, so we say the prayer. Oh.